Yeah, get in here. Good morning. We got bonuses. Look at that. Dalvin Cook ain't no longer there no more, huh? Good morning, Jason. Doing this NFL thing. 365 days a year. Right. That's content right there. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is July 8th, 2023. My name is Russell Wayne, and this is the NFC North. We're talking NFL football in July. My name's Russell Wayne. I am your host, and we're talking some football. Jason's in the comments saying, good morning. Good morning. This is a bonus session today. You know, I wanted to put a shout out to our sponsor for the show, which is WTHisautism.com. We are advocates for autism, for people to have awareness and know what autism is all about. And my wife does a podcast, and we're going to let you know about it. And if you want to know about autism, WTHisautism.com is where you can go find some info. Now into football talk. Yesterday, we were talking about Jared Goff versus Kirk Cousins. And I wanted to continue this conversation because you saw the thing today. Oh man, I got to bring in this other thing right here. Because we got to talk about the other two quarterbacks, right? We can't just talk a NFC North show and just talk about Goff and talk about Kirk Cousins, right? Got these other two guys that are in this division. Justin Fields and Jordan Love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Yeah. Jake's in the comments says the Lions will own the North this year. I like that. I like that call. Let's talk about a couple of these other quarterbacks in the North right here. Justin Fields. I wanted to put these two against each other, just not because I don't, one is better than the other, but they're in very similar situations. Wouldn't you agree? That unproven, right? And let's be honest, they're both experienced quarterbacks, right? You think that Jordan Love is an experienced quarterback just because he hasn't played yet? No. Very, very experienced. He's been in the league for 3 years. He's been sitting on the practice squad, practicing with the wide receivers every single day. He's out there with them. I mean, they're all on the same practice field. Who do you think runs with the 2s and the 3s? Well, it just so happens that the 2s and the 3s for the Green Bay Packers are now their 1s and their 2s. And Jordan Love has a lot of experience. He practiced with Watson and Dobbs all last year when Aaron Rodgers went on his darkness retreat.
It's my quarterback.
Come on, man. Come on, Aaron. You got to go out there in a darkness retreat. So Jordan Love knows the offense. So which one of these quarterbacks do you think is going to have a bigger year? Because they're very similar. And they're both mobile quarterbacks. They're both unproven quarterbacks that have a lot of upside. You can look at these guys. You got both of the fan bases. I mean, if you're a Bear fan or you're a Green Bay Packer fan, how excited are you about these quarterbacks, right? I mean, I think that your fan bases are pretty excited. I think that Bear fans are ecstatic about the potential of what Justin Fields brings to the table. I think that I think that Jordan Love is being sold onto the fan base, but I think that the majority of the Packer fans are like, come on, man, give him a chance. And you never know what he can do. So Justin Fields, Jordan Love, I mean, different situations here too. You got a lot of new pieces for that Chicago Bear team, right? They had $100 million in cap. They brought in some dudes. Got Nate Davis, right? Drafted a tackle in the first round, right? Got some more protection. Bring in DJ Moore. I mean, Justin Fields, are you out of excuses? If you're a Bear fan, are you all out of excuses for your quarterback after this year? I mean, does Poles need to make the team even better? Are you going to give him another year of a pass, going to the 4th year of his rookie deal after this year? If he doesn't do well this year, what is your leash on Justin Fields? Same thing with Jordan Love, right? You came in here, you put money where your mouth is, man, right there. Gutekunst said, yeah, this is my guy. Jordan Love. Jordan Love's going to take us in. Three Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. Let's go. You think so? You think so? Or maybe I'm boring everybody. Maybe I need to bump up the viewership and let's put Jared Goff up there, the leader of the Goffense. It's the Goffense, baby. It's the Goff show this year. Don't you think? The Goff show? I mean, they added a whole bunch of pieces. Jared Goff, I think he's the guy. I mean, we got Hendon Hooker in the background, right? But look at this guy. Jared Goff, the Goffense commander. Let's go. Or is it Kirk Cousins, man? Kirk Cousins. I mean, you lost some talent, Kurt. Captain Kirk.
You like that?
You lost Adam Thielen, but you brought in Jordan Addison. You lost Delvin Cook, and well, you're hoping that Madison's there, but ain't nobody sticking 8 in the box trying to stop Alexander Madison. They're going to reallocate the defenses. I think Cousins could struggle this year. I think Goff could be better. Am I just a homer? Am I just a homer, Lion fans? I think that Goff's going to be better and everybody else is going to suck. I didn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Let's see. We got a question here. All right. God, I wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden we got here. Right, guy. Jason Smith says, question is, how do they take pressure off? They will either come out and show or come out and blow. And I think that we're talking about these two guys right here. I mean, they got a lot of pressure on them. They do. There's a lot of pressure on the other two quarterbacks too, but these are more proven quarterbacks. Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins has been a winning quarterback every year that he's been in the league. So I think the question is on these guys. How do they take on the pressure? I mean, there's no excuse. There is no excuse for Justin Fields this year. You know, you put the pieces around him. You got a pretty good 1, 2, 3 wide receiver room. You invested into your offensive line. You may have the best tight end room in the North. So Justin Fields, I mean, you can run, but you have to be able to show the people that you can pass the ball too. And you don't even have to be that good at the passer. You don't have to be a great passer. You just have to be able to balance that with your legs. I mean, Michael Vick wasn't throwing it all over the place, but he definitely could play off the play action. You didn't know what was going to go on, and when he escaped the pocket, he turned into the electrifying runner that he was. So, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, I mean, you're in a good young situation. I mean, Green Bay's always touted a pretty good offensive line. You got an excellent running game. You do have the best running backs in the North. No one's going to dispute that. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Those are some dogs right there. Better be able to stop the run in the north. Got some offensive linemen in there. What are you going to do about that? Jordan Love, I think there's a little less pressure on Jordan Love. I mean, they extended him to pay him less money than a fifth-year option. So the pressure of him, I mean, it's a put up or shut up year. You know what I'm saying? So I would say there's more pressure on Fields than Love. Goff is ready. So Jake, you and I are on the same page, man. Thank you for the comment. Chris says Jordan Love struggles with the second and third reads and his completions in less than 3 seconds per scouting reports. He's a project, great kid, but unproven 26. The pick isn't even close to AR. It brought Cal 30 years in the bottom of the AP polls right there. And Deshaun Jackson, 4.340. I remember Deshaun Jackson. Chris doesn't believe in Jordan Love. I mean, I haven't seen much of him, but I think that Packer fan is delusional if they just think that this kid can just come in. Love, 26, pick first round, not even close. Okay. Let's see. Brent says Justin is more proven than. Well, of course. How many wins do you have to have for Green Bay? I mean, Justin is more proven because he's played more, right? I mean, they're going head up, man. Week one. Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. Jordan Love versus Justin Fields. That's why I like that. Like that right there.
You like that?
Right off the bat. Division game. They get to play first. They get to play last. Right? I think these guys are going to be battling out for second place this year. I think this is the Lions' division to lose. Dispute that. Come on in. I'm going to throw the link in. I'm going to throw the link in so you can pop in if you want to. You know? Why not? We're broadcasting live. You are on live. Yes, Brent, you are on live. Right there. I'm going to throw the link into the comments right here as I get to a couple more of them right there. We're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news. Thank you for allowing us into your platform right here. So I don't make them mad. I'll at least put a picture of Goff up there. But we talk NFC North. This is the off season. We're going to change it up a little bit when we get to the season. We're going to dedicate 1 day a week to each team at least. And I'll be pumping out some content right here. Bill, the Packer fan, he's been pumping out some content. So if you're a Packer head, you love the Green Bay Packers, follow Bill, the Packer fan. If you're a Bear fan, then go follow Mike, the Bear fan. If you're a Lion fan, come follow us here at the Detroit Lions Villain Squad or the Detroit Lions News because they support us and we support them. We love being able to come on here every day, talk football with y'all. But I put the link into the comments. If you want to come and have a conversation with me, I like talking to you through the comments too. That's all good. So we got Derek in there. He says, go Pack, go. I'm actually ready to see the middle of the field be attacked and some actual RPO. Jordan is going to be the man. Just a different aspect that we've never seen. It's a good call. I like that take. I like that you have confidence in your team. I just don't see how you can have more confidence in AR. Like Aaron Rodgers was the man in Green Bay. He was the boogeyman. We didn't want to face Aaron Rodgers. And now I'm just supposed to be scared of Jordan Love, just like you guys aren't scared of the Lions. You say, "Hey, you got to prove it." That's what I'm saying. Jordan Love, you're garbage until you prove otherwise. You're following a Hall of Fame quarterback. To expect him to be even close to that, you're on hopium. You're high on hopium. Speaking of high, main event, Mike.
Hey, Russ. Man? Sorry I'm late. I was in the restaurant. I had to take a Chicago and wipe my Green Bay.
Well, it was nice having some actual viewers for a little while, and then yeah, we dropped down 10 as soon as you pop on. But that's
Is
okay,
that right?
No.
Am I bad for ratings?
It might be your lighting. I don't know. No, we're not. I don't think it's that bad. We were just talking these NFC North quarterbacks and how interesting it is, and we separated them. So yesterday we did a little bit of talking right here, like with Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff. Very similar. They're very similar with their careers. I mean, Goff's had a little more playoff success, but they've been basically just pocket quarterbacks that have just been underappreciated by every team they've ever been on. And then you got these two guys. You got Justin Fields and Jordan Love, and they're very similar. Mobile quarterbacks who need to prove themselves, that are young. Are they going to be the future of their franchise? Right? Those are questions that are asked to those two fan bases. Would you agree with that?
For sure.
I mean, you got Justin Fields had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. But here's the thing. He's going to be dead. He's going to be dead, and you're going to be going with P.J. Walker if you keep on trotting him out there like that in an RPO. He has to throw the football in order for him to be a good NFL quarterback. For sure.
And how much is the new rule change going to affect Justin Fields with the RPO handoff? You can no longer hand off the ball to the runner in front of you.
I mean, I'm trying to think of how that even would work. Like, how do they hand it off in front of them to where this is going to make a difference? Can you explain that?
Well, I mean, technically the RPO it's a forward lateral. I mean, you're holding the ball forward. The runner can't be in front of you is the new rule. He has to be on the side of you or behind you.
Okay.
So when you step back and you're doing the read pass option, that runner cannot be crossing in front of your face mask like they do. That's the new rule. And it's really going to target running quarterbacks, especially guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to see how they implement the rule before I can really make because I don't have an opinion on it, because I'm trying to think of, like, when I'm thinking run option, I'm thinking this guy is going and then he tosses it to the guy behind him that's running slightly behind him as a pass. And even if he lets the ball go, I think that's going to be the new thing, right? He's going to let the ball go, so it actually counts as a forward pass. But I guess he can't be past the line of scrimmage and do that. So, I mean, as long as the lateral,
shovel passes are still allowed. No change there. It is strange, though, that it seems to be the league is heading towards an RPO heavy, right? We're seeing it more and more and more. And it seems like the league doesn't want that. They want this, the chicks love the long ball. Right? They love the passing. The game is 70% passing now, which is just the way they want it. Receivers are getting paid like never before. This is where the league wants it to go. And I think this rule is just trying to curtail that movement towards RPO, which is, more run.
Yeah, well, and more injury too. So I think they are trying to clean up the league from I don't think that they want all these guys with CTE like having awful ends of their lives and that going out new so and so player died of this, so and so died. I don't think they like that part of the publicity part of it. And the thing that sucks is it is a corporate entity, so I don't believe that the entity of the NFL actually cares about the players themselves. That's why they have a players union that has to fight with them 365 days a year just to make sure that the players get the rights that they deserve from their their corporate overlords.
Let's make no mistake about it. The NFLPA is a corporate entity as well.
Sure. They use it. They police a corporate entity with a corporate entity.
They have collectively bargained 49% of the TV revenue into the NFLPA. So they're don't be misled thinking that they've got all the players' interested at best interest at heart.
And in that, no, I'm not gonna throw that out there like that. I mean, corporate is corporate, and I don't like talking about corporate stuff. We want to talk about the realness of it. But what does play out and what is good is the parity and the way that they've constructed their salary caps and the way that they've done their rookie, how they can bring rookies in and how they're redoing free agency and everything. It makes it for the most competitive brand that you could put out there, because you can turn your team around in 2-3 years, 100%, because it's all based around getting young talent at a reasonable price and then building the rest of your roster around that. Those are the successful teams do it. So if you have that model, then any one of the 32 teams, no matter how big your market is, because of the salary cap, we're going to have this parity of, worst to first.
Yeah,
and it's
and it is really
like
interesting. It is really interesting how the rookie deal, the rookie contract has evolved as well. I mean, think about it. These guys used to get drafted number 1 overall quarterback out of USC or whatever, and they would sign them to these giant contracts, not even knowing if they were going to pan out. And then they were hamstrung by these contracts of a guy that didn't pan out. Tim Couch, right? Todd Marinovich. These guys that were drafted way high and end up being busts, and they end up having to pay them. So the owners got together and said, wait a minute, we got to fix this. And now I think it's a deal that really, you take a guy like Joe Burrow, still playing on his rookie deal, already been to a Super Bowl. And the Cincinnati Bengals are taking that all the way to the bank.
Why not?
And that is what is helping to create this parity in the league.
Well, it allows you, it's like, it gives your franchise a reset button. It's something that Detroit is now getting to take advantage of for the very first time in the history. They are being able to take advantage of drafting players and having players on rookie deals that are good. So is that the main, is that the main event? Is that the Detroit Lion right there?
His name is Brad Holmes.
His name is Brad Holmes. But I like that we're able to do that. We, for the first time, we had Stafford, Sue, and Johnson all at the same time. Great players, but with their contracts under the old rookie style deal, we weren't able to make the team to be, competitive with the best teams in the NFL. We were good with those 3 players, but you can't have 3 players eating up, 65% of your salary and then have to fill, the other, 50 spots with the other, 35% of your, it doesn't work like that.
Right. And we were just good enough to not get a good draft pick the next year.
Right. So Chris is in here. We're on this Green Bay is number 1 in drop passes in 41. And those right there, that is a telling stat to all of the Aaron Rodgers haters that thinks that he's the one that destroyed your team last year. So you're losing an incredibly accurate quarterback that threw 41 passes that should have been caught. Do you think out of those 41 passes that may have translated into a win or 2?
Well, they found a way to blame Aaron Rodgers for that anyway, because he didn't attend OTAs and build chemistry with the young receivers.
Okay. So this other quarterback. So AR hold. I don't know what we're talking about there. Jake says that, in your opinion, do you think that Campbell is coach of the year and Gibbs gets offensive rookie of the year? That's a double-edged question right there. Go ahead, Mike.
I think Dan Campbell is a candidate for, coach of the year if we end up with a winning record. But those awards, I don't even like to speculate on it, because I don't understand why Kevin O'Connell didn't win coach of the year last year. They give it to Brian Daboll instead, because that award is handed out, after the playoffs. Right. And when Daboll beat the Vikings in the playoffs, that pretty much cinched it for him over Kevin O'Connell. I thought that was a bad call. So, I don't know. These things, that's such a speculation. Gibbs, is he offensive rookie of the year? Depends on how they use him, barring injury. It's quite speculative. So there's just no telling, especially when you've got quarterbacks that are going to be starting that are rookies. They have a real higher expectation. They have a more likelihood to be offensive rookie of the year.
I like that call too. I mean, it is a very, very hard call. So I'll reframe this question and then I'll answer it myself. I'm going to say that Jahmyr Gibbs has a better chance of being offensive rookie of the year than Dan Campbell does of being coach of the year.
Huh.
So, and the reason behind that is opportunity. For one, you don't draft a running back that high unless you plan to use him a lot. So I think just
honestly, I think Jack Campbell has just as good a chance to be defensive rookie of the year as Jahmyr Gibbs as offensive rookie of the year.
Okay. That wasn't in Jake's question.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, but I can agree with you on that. Jahmyr Gibbs and just an opportunity, and the same thing with Jack Campbell too. He's going to be in the running for defensive rookie of the year because of opportunity, and he's going to get his chance. He was picked 18th overall. They are going to put him on the field early. If he isn't the starter week one, he's going to play week one, and contribute. And week one, Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to get used more than they even wanted to use him in the first place because of the Jameson Williams injury. So Campbell, they could give it to him or they could not give it to him. That's what I don't like about Coach of the Year, because there's a handful of coaches that are just going to be really good.
Honestly, after reflecting a little bit, I do not think Jahmyr Gibbs will get offensive rookie of the year because of the way the Lions bring players along slowly.
I mean, and I'm going to say the opposite of that just because I think this is the exception. I think that they built the entire team to put these rookies and drop them into the good situation and have playmakers that don't have tape on them. And that's what it's all about in the NFL's tape right there. So Chris is going to change our topic right here. Aaron Rodgers holds the lowest interception percentage in the NFL record ever.
That's right. He's one of the most accurate passers we've ever seen. So
when I'm looking at that, and I love it when John Dorn comes on here and he talks his Packer crap, but you guys realistically, and Packer fans, you can chime in on this. Are you at least a little bit scared of this guy coming in and not being? I mean, if he's average, you guys aren't going to be good next year. You know that, right? I mean, you've had elite quarterback play, and if your elite quarterback play drops down to average quarterback play, your team's not going to be good, guys. Like you need this quarterback to come in and be as good as what Aaron Rodgers was.
See, and I don't agree with that. They have a solid running game and a solid defense that can get you a winning record with average quarterback play.
But they don't have a good defense. They had good defensive players that were drafted high. They had the 21st ranked defense in PFF last year, just like the Lions. They had a bad defense last year. Now they can claim the same thing that we can. Our players are getting better. We were better at the second half of the year than we were at the first half of the year. That's not the same defense. But this defense, Joe Barry has had 8 first-round picks, and he has not produced a good defense. They were not good last year. They were 8-9 last year. And you lost your Hall of Fame quarterback. That is what happened. And you drafted a good defensive end, and you drafted a good wide receiver and a couple of good tight ends. So you have a chance. He's in an opportunity, but you think average quarterback play is going to get it done? Average quarterback play, and then all of a sudden we are 8 in the box again, and then you're stopping that running game. What happens when they stop that running game? Because teams will stop that running game if that's all you got, Justin Fields. They will stop you, and you will lose games.
And nothing but young receivers as well.
Right.
No veteran presence in them.
Nothing but young receivers that we were just talking about right here. Did you know that the Green Bay Packers led the NFL with 41 drop passes? If you drop 41 passes for Jordan Love, you're going to win 6 games.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
So Jake says, okay, we already did. Chris said, I lost my spot. I'm sorry, guys. Sarah says, Packers about to find out what quarterback carousel is.
Wow, that's an interesting take. They've got no one behind him but Sean Clifford. So,
hey, but they drafted Sean Clifford, and what's
wrong
carousel with Sean Clifford being good? I watched him play at Penn State. He might be a better quarterback than Jordan Love. Sean Clifford. I like that call. That's a good call, Sarah. Thank you for tuning in right there. That's a good comment right there. D says, right now, I feel the NFC North quarterback would be the biggest threat would be Jared Goff. I would too. And you should too.
Especially with that Goffense.
The offensive line is what you really need to worry about.
That offensive coordinator.
The offensive coordinator. And
look at all the offensive weapons he has.
We do have some offensive weapons. Now you're going to make me go into my good stuff here.
They're starting to get offensive.
don't. Oh my gosh. It never stops. Where are we at? Okay, here we go. Yeah, you'll like this. You're going to like this. Speaking of offensive weapons, I made a nice little picture here for everybody. There. Don't worry about Goff. Worry about these guys getting the ball. Look at that lineup right there of guys that you have no tape on. And, the one over on the right-hand side that you guys are all dismissing is going to show up week 7 with his 4.2 speed.
Who is the guy all the way to the left? My live counter ticker's blocking his face.
Oh, that's David Montgomery.
Okay.
As David Montgomery, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Sam Laporta, wide receiver number 2. You got Amon-Ra, the sun god, St. Brown. And you got these offensive weapons. And then you have the offensive line, which is one of the top 5, and it may be vying for the top offensive line in the league this year. These guys are going to push people out of the way. You ain't need to worry about Goff. You're going to need to worry about the guys that they are scheming the ball out of his hands really, really fast to. You don't think you're going to see Goff sitting back in the pocket too much. He's going to be getting rid of the ball quick this year and handing the ball off. And every once in a while throwing a deep shot, which he can do. So right. I like that.
And Goff's real strength is play action. And with that offensive line, and now you've got David Montgomery, who leads the league in broken tackles for a running back. They're going to be able to establish the run, which will open up the play action pass and make Goff better.
Right. And that was already happening last year, by the way. That was happening with Khalif Raymond last year. That was happening with Josh Reynolds and DJ Shark last year. So I think that you can drop skill players into this system with a great offensive line, and they get to thrive. So Sarah says, let's see. What? Let me get back here. I got thrown back a little bit. So Martell King says Detroit Lions got a lot of confidence beating Rodgers last year. They sure did.
Yeah, we're going to hang a banner, Martell.
Yep, we do. We hang the banner because we celebrate good victories, and that's a good victory.
It'll be right next to our Matt Stafford banner, which says our old quarterback won a Super Bowl.
So Chris is, I think, let's see what Chris says here. Chris says, Green Bay number 1 in NFL and drop passes, 2021-41. AR's fault. Not, it's Goots and Murphy's, as they have let every great Green Bay vet get lowballed, starting with Claymaker. Goot and Murphy don't get it. Follow the New England model and pay vets market or different payment right there. Yeah, I'm feeling you on that, Chris.
Pay them market value or defer payment. Yeah, like Tom Brady used to do, kick the money down the road so they could sign other people, and therefore keep team unity. Right, that's a great call out.
I like that,
and I wonder
that's
if
a great
Packer fan, if that's a disgruntled Packer fan saying that.
And it's funny for us as Lion fans say follow the New England model. Please don't say that. No one is going to say that in Detroit. I know that. Don't follow the New England model, please. But I do understand, because I've seen Brad Holmes do a couple moves like that where, you're paying the guys what you're going to pay them. Hey, Jamal Williams, we got 6 million reasons you should stay here. Oh, I'm disrespected. Okay. No, we don't hate you, but that's what we have to offer for the running back job. Okay. We signed David Montgomery for $6 million. And then he goes and plays somewhere else for $4 million. And it's okay to go get your money. Go get your money. Go get what you're worth.
And Chris says that that Gutekunst and Murphy have let every great Green Bay veteran get lowballed, starting with the Claymaker. I love that. Clay Matthews, right?
I like that. That is good.
He let, Green Bay lets him get lowballed.
Like that?
And I think there's some validity to what he's saying there, because it's the Packer way. And to be part of this Packer organization, they think they can pay him less. And look at what they did to Jordan Love.
Right.
Rather than pick up a 5th-year option on a player they let sit on the bench, they gave him a split contract and paid him less than he could have gotten on the 5th-year option. So there might be a lot of validity to what Chris is saying there.
There is, but I like it from a savvy point, like from Gutekunst, the way that he handled. Now I'm not talking a 2-year deal here. I'm talking just the last 6 months. I really like what Gutekunst did, and I'm going to say his name right because I'm going to give him props.
That's not right.
Gutekunst?
That's not correct.
What is
There's
it?
There's a K-U-N-T in there. It's got to be Kunst.
Kunst.
Gutekunst.
Gutekunst. Okay. I'm trying to say his name right. Gutekunst. He made some good moves. He made some savvy moves. The way that he handled that Rodgers trade at the end with everybody talking on the outside, I think he really played the New York Jets off of what they wanted.
I disagree. The Jets were able to get a left tackle because they were able to preserve their 1st-round pick. And the Packers could have held out and got that pick.
But they got a second 1st-round pick. They worked it into the deal to where if Rodgers plays a certain amount, that they're going to get another 1st-round pick out of the deal.
Yeah, but they could have gotten this year's 1st-round pick if they'd have held out. What were the Jets going to do? They had Rodgers on contract, and they had the Jets over a barrel because all they have is Zach Wilson and Mike White. So they certainly could have held out and done better.
They could have. That's what I mean. They should have held out and realized that they actually had all of the power in the situation and didn't let Gutekunst pull his pants down and make them do what they did. They could have held out and just said, sit on that 46 million and dead. Good luck with that. We got our guy. We got a top 5 deep. We're good. Like, you could have been there, but they weren't. They wanted Rodgers so bad that they were able to do it. Now, Gutekunst last year could have gotten 3 1st-round picks for Aaron Rodgers from the Russell Wilson deal. So that's why I say this is an isolated 6 months that I'm giving credit for. You did a good job there in that little spot. You could have had that last year, but no, you wanted to go all in and mess up your whole plan. Who's the GM in Green Bay? Who is the GM?
Goody.
Is it Goody or is it Aaron Rodgers? Because he sure made you just hold on to that 1st-round pick that you believed in for 4 years extra.
Yeah, well, who was the coach in Green Bay? Is it LaFleur or is it Aaron Rodgers changing the play every time at the line of scrimmage?
Maybe. So that's what I mean. The chicken or the egg? Is it the chicken? Is it LaFleur or is it Rodgers? Is it the chicken or the egg?
We're going to find out this year. We know that Matt LaFleur's offense was more of a West Coast offense. And a lot of passes to the running back and passes over the middle of the field. And Aaron Rodgers is the mad bomber because he's so accurate. He can hit all those sideline throws and those deep shots. And that's what Aaron Rodgers wants to play. LaFleur, that wasn't his offense. So it's really going to be interesting to see this year if the 13-3 record is a product of the quarterback or the coach.
Yeah, and I think they're going to find out. I am one of the believers that Aaron Rodgers carried that team, that team for a good decade, that covered up, not so good offensive line play because he can spin out of something and make it into something, right? makes it all these positive plays out of nothing, making defenses that they had that were average not have to play good until they even, got to the end of the year.
I mean,
so
let's face it, Aaron Rodgers was one of the best we've ever seen.
Ever.
And as Detroit Lions fans, every year he would rip our hearts out.
And every year we'd see Green Bay Packer fan after Green Bay Packer fan putting him on a pedestal right there with Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. And then the minute that he leaves, all of a sudden it's like dead weight. Like you kicked your girlfriend out of the car, out of a speeding car, and just get I'm done with you, right? You forgot everything. 41 drop passes. You forgot that your wide receivers let down your Hall of Fame quarterback last year, just as much as you claim that he let you down. Ooh, there we go. But that was a great comment there, Chris. Thank you for the comment. We're going to get into what Sarah says we need Love to be good enough to win at least 6 or 7 games. And so they can't draft top rookie quarterback without having to give future draft picks. So Sarah, I don't know if she believes. Do you not believe in Jordan Love and you want him to not win that many games so you can get a better draft pick? You guys looking at Caleb Williams? You guys in the sweepstakes already?
I think she's saying below 6 or 7 games, and they're gonna draft a quarterback. Isn't that what she's saying there?
Yeah. So they can't draft a top rookie.
If they win more than 6 or 7 games, then they're going to have to give up future draft picks to get a quarterback. So it sounds like Sarah doesn't believe in Jordan Love at all.
But here's the thing, Sarah, and I want to make you feel a little bit better here. Even as a Lion fan, I'm gonna help you out right here. This is why Gutekunst did a good job in this trade, because you do have an extra first round pick. And Aaron Rodgers, it's probably going to be a second round pick, because I do believe that Aaron Rodgers will play more than 65% of the snaps or whatever that number is. But even if it's a second round pick, you have extra capital to go up and get your guy if your guy is not good, right? If you only win 6 games, you're not going to have to move up that far if you want to get these guys. And if you really suck, then yeah, you win the drafts sweepstakes and you got a good young team. So that's all I'll say about that. But I don't think you're going to be that good this year.
I think they finished second in the division.
And that's fair. I think that's a good fight between, we all believe about these Minnesota Vikings that, yeah, you think Gutekunst is, I mean, you can criticize some of those moves, but you can criticize everything that Kwesi's done. Everything.
You're not going to put that comment back up, are you?
Do you want me? What?
That last one you popped up for a second. You're not going to put that one back up, are you?
No.
I mean, it's Saturday morning. There might be kids on here.
I can't. Wow.
I only got halfway through it. I didn't hear the punchline.
Oh, okay. Hey, James, don't ever comment on this feed again. How about that? I don't give a shit, James.
Must be a Bear fan.
Yeah. Is that Ken Doby's? Is that your burner account?
That's Ken Doby's shadow account. I don't know. Ken Doby has more couth than that.
Oh man, that's what I was thinking to Sarah. Green Bay has to take a dive so they can get a great quarterback in the draft. Wow, are you guys jumping off? We're watching the Green Bay Packer fans committing suicide on our live feed here. Oh, I hope he gets to play Rodgers 64% so they get a second rounder.
Yeah, I said that right when they made the trade. I hope he plays 64%.
So it doesn't look like Sarah. I think Sarah's one of our fans here.
Yeah.
Now Rodgers is out of the division. I actually like Rodgers.
Me too, Sarah. I know it. Now it's okay to say we admire him.
Yeah, we definitely didn't want to say that last year, but I do like the situation that Rodgers is in. And I think people are way underselling this. Like this the New York Jets defense. That defense is legit, dude. Like straight top 5, like in reality, not like Green Bay reality where they just say they have a good defense, but they don't. it's in real reality where this is actually a top 5 defense, you know, a really, really good offensive line. You got awesome young skill weapons. It's like he doesn't even have to be Aaron Rodgers of old. He
You know,
just
you
has
make
to.
a good point there, Russ. How can you have 8 number 1 or first round draft picks on defense and finish with the 21st ranked defense?
Right.
In
They
the
love to
NFC
say
North.
it. Yeah. It's not good. I mean, they have a top 10 paper defense. Yeah, I mean, paper defense with guys that have underachieved. I mean, I'll take a shot at Quay Walker. Is this guy mentally strong enough to play in a game where he's challenged? I don't know. I mean, if you're crying in a tunnel and you know you're losing your cool in the middle of the game, you're going to go up against teams that are going to stand up to you. Even the best teams in the world. I mean, you got to fight. I mean, Foreman had to fight Muhammad Ali. I mean, and none of us would want to fight either one of them.
Honestly, after watching how they played last year, Jair Alexander is the only one on that defense that I would trade any Lions defender for.
Yeah. And boy, he is a great defender too. Jair Alexander is somebody that's saucy. He'll get right in your face. He'll talk the shit. I like that.
He's a shutdown guy too. I mean, he shut down Justin.
You like that?
Sure.
And yeah, and it is a paper defense. I mean, it's just like the Lions. Lions are only good on paper. I mean, we have hope in our defense, so I guess we're kind of homers sitting up here saying Green Bay's defense is only good on paper because, you know, we had the 29th ranked defense. So who are we? You know,
Playoffs.
It's like, come on, guys. But, you know, we have the same hope. We completely revamped our secondary, like the 32nd ranked secondary. And here, I'll go solo. There we go. the 32nd ranked secondary, and they replaced the players that got killed. God, I was at that game last year in Minneapolis where Amani Oruwariye decided that he couldn't keep his hands off of Adam Thielen for like 9 straight plays. It was like, oh my gosh, if we had even an average secondary, we would have won 13 games last year. If with an average secondary. So it was no surprise that they got rid of all those guys. Oruwariye gone, Okudah gone, Deshaun Elliott gone, like, and they replaced them with high-end players. But the Green Bay Packers, you guys got 8 first-round picks. You know, you put Hercules on them.
Russ?
Huh?
Oh, I don't know if anybody can still hear me.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you froze up on my end. Where are we broadcasting today, Russ?
Okay, well, I apologize to anybody. Oh, hold on a second. I'm running out of battery juice, Mike. They're yelling at me. So give me 1 second.
Well, I'll take this second to invite everyone to the NFC North Open Mic Trash Talk. That's every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, broadcasting live into Facebook from the main event. Go to the Detroit Lions Villain Squad group, join our group, go over to YouTube, subscribe to our main event channel. It's at Main Event 365 on YouTube. And every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we are talking smack with all 4 fan bases. All fan bases and all fans are welcome to come in and get their feelings hurt.
I like it. I like it. Now I'm all back in. I got my stuff all plugged in. And I'm sorry if I cut out right there. I was talking. I thought I was laying down some pretty good takes too. But we'll never know. I picked up at the top 10 paper defense. That's what I was talking about. And I was just kind of talking about how the Lions aren't any better in that regard. It's like they had the 21st ranked defense. We had the 29th ranked defense. But we can both agree, Lion fan and Packer fan, that the teams were better down the stretch. The defenses were better down the stretch than they were at the beginning of the season. You would agree with that? I mean, for both teams?
But not Minnesota.
Well, no, I'm talking about just Green Bay and
in Detroit.
In Detroit. Minnesota, you Come on here. I challenge the Minnesota fans. I love having them come on here, and nobody can really give me good football reasons why you're going to be good next year. I mean, you won all of your games by the skin of your teeth last year, and your team got worse. So, like, I don't know how you expect to be better or win a game in the division. I challenge any one of these Viking fans. You want to come on here and defend your boys? Come on here. Make it make sense to me. Help me. Help me help you.
Well, they do have a new defensive coordinator in Brian Flores, and he's great. Ed Donatel probably did hold that defense back a bit. They didn't play with an edge. They were very soft. And that's something that Brian Flores can fix. But they lost 6 starters on defense.
Yeah, you can't expect people. I mean, Aaron Glenn is one of the better defensive coordinators, in my opinion, and it hasn't translated to the field because he didn't have any talent to work with. I don't care how good Brian Flores can write down an X and an O. It won't matter if he doesn't have any players. So they're hoping on a wing and a prayer. You know, who could it be? I don't know. I have no idea. You got a bunch of nobodies on your defense.
Believe it or not, it's Kirksey.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that you remember that.
You like that?
Wow. The greatest American hero, if you guys remember that, an awful superhero movie or show from the 80s.
William Penn.
Yeah. Marine says, go Lions. What's up, Marine? Thank you for watching the broadcast. What up, guys? From Shane. Shane, it's great to see you on here. Eddie, I want to see Williamson and Green on the field together.
So he's referring obviously to Antoine Green, the 7th round draft pick from North Carolina, who is making some splash at OTAs for the Detroit Lions. You know, he led the nation. He was up in there, one of the top in yards per catch. He was considered a deep threat, and he released he had an interview the other day where he said he's really excited to show everyone that he's not just a deep threat, there's way more to his game than that. And the 7th round draft pick, that's a tough sell to make the team even, but a lot of people are calling this kid a dark horse to make the team and make an impact. So he has great speed. So with Williamson and Green streaking down the sidelines, maybe for the next few years, and then you've got Amon-Ra working the middle with Sam Laporta. This offense is set up for success for years to come. It's a great call, Eddie, by the way.
I love the Green call. I mean, it may sound a little homerish, and we are broadcasting into Detroit Lion News, so we can be a little bit homerish here because we are Lions fans, but we are representing the NFC North right now, so we do kind of taper off our homerism a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. We still get called homers no matter what we say, but I like that call. Green's a good 7th round pick. How about this? I'm going to go through now and I'm going to give you some late round picks from the other teams that I like. Now, I know I just ripped on the Minnesota Vikings, but I'm going to give you a free one right here. Dwayne McBride, your 7th round pick, I think was an excellent value pick, and you can get excited about a 7th round pick in Dwayne McBride, it possibly being a good speed threat from the running back position. I like that pick. I do like Green for the Lions. I think that was a great deep threat. He's built just like Marvin Jones. I mean, it's like a young version of Marvin Jones.
I know you like Gervin Dexter too.
Gervin Dexter. He wasn't a 7th round pick, but they ended up, they picked him in the 2nd round. I thought that they reached on him a little bit, because he had a 5th round grade, but it's the same thing with Broderick Martin with us. He was a later round grade, and we picked him early, so we can't go there either. I like they picked a safety up in Green Bay from Florida State. I can't remember what his name is.
Jamie Robinson?
Was it Jamie Robinson? I'm not sure.
I mean, he's a great safety from Florida State. So is that the guy?
It might not be. It might not have been Florida State. I could be wrong on it. I don't want to say.
I just know that they took 2 tight ends.
Let me go. And then they took. Now I have to look. Thank you for Google that we can do Google Live. So we'll say
they took 2 tight ends. They took Jaden Reed from Michigan State. They took Carl Brooks from Bowling Green. And then in those later picks, I don't remember who they took. If they took a safety from Florida State, that name escapes me.
I'll figure it out here. I'm sorry, everybody. Now I'm just we're dorks. This is what we do every single morning, by the way. And this is a bonus morning, by the way. We didn't prepare for any of this today because
it's the bonus Saturday episode.
Yeah, it is the bonus Saturday episode. Oh yeah, I like the defensive line pick they had in the 6th round too. Carl Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy you and I were looking at for the Lions.
They had a bunch of 7th round. Anthony Johnson Jr. Anthony Johnson Jr. had a 3rd round grade. He was not from Florida State. He's from Iowa State. My bad. Pick 242. This kid was, every single round that went by when we picked Corby Sorsdahl in the 5th round, I wanted Anthony Johnson. Every round that came by after he dropped that far into the draft. This is a great pick for you guys. Secondary was a very, very deep position in this year's draft. So a lot of value fell when it came to secondary type of people. And then Chicago Bears, I don't know. I don't know if I got any love for you on your late round picks. You might have to help me out with that, Chicago Bear fans. I'm not going to go that far, but at least I included 2 other ones. That takes away my homer, right? No homer. No home. No, it doesn't. Okay. I did the best I could right there. Shane says Goff will throw for 4,231 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
Sounds legit. He had 29 and 7 last year.
Yep. Less yards is what he's calling for. I like that call. That's a good call.
That is.
I like that call because that means that we're probably running the ball good. This sounds like I made the playoff numbers.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Because that's not, you're not burning anybody up with 4,200. That's really over 4,000 is pretty good.
Well, if you had those numbers last year, that's 2 extra touchdowns. Put that against Seattle, put that against Buffalo, put that against Philadelphia, who are all playoff teams, by the way. And that's an extra win, and we are definitely in the playoffs with that. So I think those numbers look realistic.
And when you're looking at what Jared Goff did last year, make no mistake about it. And this isn't Homer. If you didn't watch this and see it, Jared Goff had a career year last year. That was his best season, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. It doesn't look like he got to a ceiling in it and he just kind of got lucky to get all that stuff. It looks like he has full command of that offense and that he knows exactly where to go in every situation, and now he's got skill players to boot. There is no reason to think that he can't pull off at least this, if not better. I like that call. Good call, Shane. Thank you for the comment.
I really like the pick by Chicago, Roschon Johnson, the running back from Texas.
There you go.
That might end up being the actual steal in this entire draft. He's a guy the Lions were looking at as well.
Brent says Demont and Bijan are very similar. I see Demont with 1,000+ yards and Gibbs around 800. I like that call. I don't think that Gibbs is going to have that many yards rushing, but it's not like he couldn't. I don't think that they're going to, and it isn't a skill thing. I think that it's more of he's not going to touch the ball that many times in the run game. I don't think you're going to see him get 10+ carries a game.
Well, those are Alvin Kamara numbers.
800.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that call. I do. I really like that call. 1,000+ yards. Good. Thank you for the comment, Brent. And thank you for watching on the YouTube. We appreciate that. We love to have the YouTube subscribers. You can subscribe through our YouTube channel. And then, we're broadcasting there like 8 different slots here. We love the Detroit Lion News. Thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast onto your platform. NFC North main event, Detroit Lions Villain Squad. If you like the Bears, Mike the Bear fan. If you like the Packers, Bill the Packer fan. I like the Villain Squad's picking up some steam. We're going to catch that Canadian page here pretty soon. Shane says Mike White went to Miami.
Yeah, I was talking about before the trade, Shane.
Okay. No, I hate Green Bay. Yes, Sarah. I'm sorry. I'm probably late on a lot of these comments, guys. I feel like I'm like 20 minutes late or 10 minutes late on some of these.
Sarah is lactose intolerant. She does not like cheese.
Oh, Raymond says, did I finally get you live? Only ran across your show a couple weeks ago and seen you in the evening. And the show is awesome show, brother. Thank you,
Wow.
Raymond.
Thank
Love
you,
that. Wow, he comes in and finally Raymond catches a live show on the only day we said that we weren't going to do a show, but we did one anyway.
See, now that right there made it all worth it for Russ
That's
Wayne
right.
to come on today and do a bonus Saturday episode.
Yep.
One person is all it takes to inspire Russell Wayne, and I know that.
And it is, and it makes me feel really, really good. I love that.
And I believe that comes from us being musicians. You know, if there's one, we'd rather play to 5 people that were into the show than 500 that weren't. So we get that satisfaction.
Yep. So Brent says, yes, Sarah, people are coming to Sarah's rescue here. Hey, Sarah says, I am not a Packers fan. I'm a Vikings fan. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I hate
Tell us, Sarah.
Okay. Well, maybe I did. I want to say Packer fans talking about how all we do is choke, and they pretend they didn't choke every year in the playoffs since 2012. I mean, you got to deal with that, Sarah. I mean, that's one thing that the Lion fans have in common. We don't have the Super Bowls. I mean, you guys lay claim to a Super Bowl that not everybody gives you credit for. I understand. I totally feel that.
I still don't understand that.
And she says, LOL, I can coexist with Lions fans. I just hate the Packer fans more than anything. And I think we can agree there. We can actually agree there.
Buckle up, though, Sarah. You're not going to be able to deal with Lions fans over the next couple of years. As we start to, I mean, if we rise to dominance like a lot of us think we're going to be unbearable. We are going to be absolutely intolerable.
Not all of us will be.
We're already coming out like cockroaches when you turn on the light. And if this team starts winning, you're going to see so many bandwagon Lion fans coming out of the woodwork. We are a passionate fan base in Detroit. Just every single one of our franchises here has been down for the last 10 years. And these Lions are giving us hope. So enjoy us while you can, Sarah, because we will be intolerable next year.
And we'll do our best to try to curb everybody's and how they really feel. If they go too far over the top,
no,
we don't even really allow Lions fans to get too far overboard. Like, you know, when it comes down to it. So we'll do our best with that. But not Mike. Mike won't do his best. Mike wants to bring it to you. If you want to get some of this smoke, you can come onto the show on Monday night, and Mike will give you some smoke. Right there. Me too. I'm a fan of Cousins. I saw him playing college 15 miles away from MSU. Where are you at, Brent? I'm in Flint.
15 miles from East Lansing could put him anywhere. I mean, that could be Langsburg.
Yep.
Bath, Marsh.
Owasso.
Okemos.
Oh, there's one right there. How many Okemos? All right. We lost old dudes in their 30s.
Talking about the Vikings.
Let's hear it. They didn't lose anybody.
Best years ever.
You brought in a cornerback, Byron Murphy, who did not have as good a year as Patrick Peterson did in his old ass. Kendricks was a top 10 linebacker. I'm sorry, Sarah. That's a loss. That is a loss. Zadarius Smith. Oh my gosh. If I talked to a Viking fan last year, Zadarius Smith was put in the same category as Myles Garrett. So you didn't just lose guys in their 30s. You lost high impact players that commanded gigantic salaries. And you got other players that don't want to play. You lost Dalvin Cook. And you can't laugh that off. You can't just say next man up.
I think Sarah has a pretty good point, though. All of the contracts they shedded were huge. All of the guys they lost were, technically beyond their prime. So if you're going to tear it down in any way, that's where you got to start.
Well, when you have to tear it down, this is a little thing that we call cap hell. You guys are experiencing it. you're going through it. You guys can sugarcoat it any way you want, but you didn't get rid of those guys because you wanted to see Andre Booth play and Lewis Seen play. You didn't get rid of those guys to see the next man up. You got rid of those guys because Kwesi handled your cap like a crackhead.
And they know they got to pay Justin Jefferson, and they're going to have to pay TJ Hawkinson because they made their move. They took their shot last year, pushed all their chips to the middle of the table, and lost in the first round.
Yeah,
Russ, I got to jump off. I'm officiating a wedding today because I'm
that
ordained.
Is awesome.
So congratulations to Travis and Brooke on getting married today. I know Travis is an avid watcher of the show. And he's having me perform the ceremony at his wedding today. And I got to jump off. But all of these great new names and new faces that we're seeing on the show today, please join us every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the NFC North Open Mic. It's a trash talk show. Bring your feelings, bring your thick skin, and leave with them hurt. All 4 fan bases are there, and we are talking football and talking smack every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the NFC North Open Mic Trash Talk.
Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. I appreciate you every day. And
take
Mike,
care, brother.
And one pride. Right? Yeah, I really enjoy the way Mike hosts this NFC North Open Mic. So if you haven't had a chance to come out there, I mean, sometimes it does get a little bit chaotic on there, but we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and it's trash talking, but we do end up getting to a place where we talk good football. The trash talking works for a good point to get everybody to a place where, all the fan bases aren't talking nonsense, and then we can get into good football talk. And that's what we're doing here. We were in the comments right here with Sarah, and I don't mean to give you such a hard time about your losses here. I got to find out. I just hate Packer fans. I got to find the thing in here. Because you lost all the guys in your 30s. That's the one I was looking for. And you lost a lot of good players. And I understand you do want to get younger. You do want to get younger, but you don't want to be forced to get younger. I give the Vikings all the credit in the world when you have a team that's close. You were winning lots of games. You're running away with the division. Make a trade for TJ Hawkinson, right? I mean, maybe you gave up a little too much for it, but you pushed your chips in. You want to take your shot at getting a title, and it didn't work. And now you gotta pay for it from the cap spot, and maybe it'll work out. Maybe Brian Flores can get something out of these young guys, and then maybe I'll look dumb. And then week 6, you're gonna see me up here going, "Oh, I guess the Vikings are pretty good." But Brett says we were a dumpster fire when Brad and Dan and Goff got there, and we finally have some talent. That's going back to the Lions. That's a good call. We were a dumpster fire. In 2021, when they took the franchise over, the first thing that Brad Holmes did was rip the Band-Aid off. He cut guys like Flowers and Shelton and these guys with these gigantic contracts, and Jamie Collins in the middle of the season where you lost money. They were $60 million behind the cap and dead cap because he was just like, we got to rebuild the roster. We got to rip it off. And they only won 3 games. And when you're that far behind the cap, you can't compete with rosters that, are loading up and are actually able to maximize their cap. And that's what you're seeing this year with the Lions. That's why they're still sitting on 25 million in cap and the roster's full. I mean, I wouldn't even want them to go pick up something else right now. I like the roster right where it's at. I mean, if you can go out and you can trade for Aaron Donald or something, like, it has to be a significant move. It has to be a giant name dude that you have to throw right in the middle of into the middle of the depth chart, and move everybody out. It might squeeze, one of these depth players off. But even the depth players are good on the Lions. I would take any one of those defensive linemen that we have and stack them up. I mean, you got to deal with all of them, all these guys. And you may not even know who all of them are, but you will. You do know who they are, but you're not giving them any credit because it is what it is. But James Houston over here, number 59, 8 sacks last year. Number 53, that's Josh Pascal. That's a second-round pick from last year. Out 8 of the first weeks on a sports hernia. Came in, had 2 sacks. Setting the edge type of guy. Romeo Okwara had 10.5 sacks 2 years ago. And he's coming back from the injury fully healthy. John Kaminsky, number 79. Isaiah Buggs, Aleem McNeil. All of these guys are quality guys. And then obviously headlined by Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. Maybe I'm homering it up a little bit. Yeah. Yes, me too, Raymond. Mohamed Ibrahim is the steal of the draft. They didn't even draft him. They got him as an undrafted free agent. Play Mohamed Ibrahim. I like that. Our defense got better just by getting rid of Donachelle. Okay, that's fair. That's fair in like coaching, but it doesn't matter your X's and O's if you don't have the talent. I mean, Donachelle had the more talented roster. And maybe it was all on him, but it wasn't all on him. You had good players. Kendricks is a good player. Patrick Peterson played out of his mind. He graded out over 80 on PFF. You could have gotten Patrick Peterson back for $1.50. The Bears are great at not developing their players. Not too much love for the Bears in here. Let's see. LOL. I want Kirk gone. Yeah. You need to get young. That's the next step for the Minnesota Vikings. You got to get young. You got to take that draft, and you got to get yourself a rookie contract quarterback that can be your starter. Because I mean, you're not going to be. It's hard. You can't pay $30 million and then another $60 million to your quarterback. Next thing you know, you're half your salary is wrapped up into 3 players. Lions tried that with Megatron, Sue, and Stafford, and you just can't get your team better. You get a cap. You can only put so many of those dudes on there. You got to hit on your drafts. Who else do you want, Sarah? Kirk is it, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know why.
You like that?
There's all this hate in Kirk. As far as I know, Kirk was the only reason that you guys won 13 games last year. I mean, he was balling out. He was coming back and winning games that your defense was digging holes. Sarah says the Kirk experiment has expired. It's time to move on. Yep.
You like that?
Kirk is done. All dead in Sarah's eyes. Raymond chimes in and says, I like Goff, but imagine if Matt had the team that Goff has now. I think Goff's a better quarterback than Matt right now. I think they traded Matt just at the right time. So what are you going to do? I mean, but we'll never know. I'm one of the believers that if Goff just had that same team that the Rams had when they won the Super Bowl, that he would have won the Super Bowl that year too. But we'll never know. We'll never know. The somebodies didn't want Kwesi to blow it up last year. That's probably the owners, right? I'm not sure there. And that's why we are a year late. We got rid of Spielman's bad contracts, and we'll be in cap heaven next year. Okay. I don't know what that. Let's take a look at that. Let's go in over the cap and see where Minnesota's going to be next year. And you could be right. Let's go in here and look at the salary cap. Sarah, looking at that salary cap. So the page isn't working. I must be out. Uh-oh. I think my stream's done. Am I not on Wi-Fi right now? Anybody feeling good? Hello? Can't be checking down all the time. No. Anybody out there? I think I'm losing everybody. I feel like I'm going to reload. Let's try again. Let's see how this goes. Is that bad? You're here? I am breaking up. We took the Keelan, the Thielen cap hit. Yes. You took the Raymond says that he is there. So I don't know. Prior to June 1st. Sounds great. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know that, Brent. Prior to June 1st. Yeah, that's the thing is the Minnesota Vikings, that the definition of the cap hell is what you guys had to go through. And that's just like, you're not getting your full value out of the players. You couldn't wait till June 1st with a lot of these guys. Because you had to get under the cap by a certain amount of time. So when other teams know that, you get fleeced and stuff like the Zadarius Smith deal. It's like you have to just kind of deal with the bad of that, because none of the teams are they're not going to fall for it. They know that you're just going to cut the guy if you wait. So why would they want to spend draft capital trying to get these guys? So same thing with Thielen, same thing with, with Kendricks and these other guys. It's like you should be able to get value out of the guys, but yeah, you were a year late. He should have went in there last year, and you guys bet on last year. That's fine. But I'm gonna cut my losses here. I'm up against it here. I'm 15 minutes past. I always like going a little bit over when I do these things. But I hope everybody had a good show today. I hope everybody had fun on here talking a little bit of football, because you guys are the avid fans. There's no other reason that you'll be watching a talking head talking about football on July 8th. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the Detroit Lions news, NFC North main event, Detroit Lion Villain Squad, Mike the Bear fan, Bill the Packer fan. Thank you. Thank you for letting us broadcast into your stuff. And this is the NFC North phone sessions, football talk, 365. My name is Russell Wayne. God bless you guys. Hope that you guys enjoyed the program. And we'll see you guys on Monday night.